Okay, continuing where we left off. Now, there is a din, it's called, the Gemara says, Chayv Adam Lavera Parshiyesev V'Matzibur. There's an obligation, and a lot of people do it. Not as many people do it that should be doing it. And that is, you have the Parsha of the week. So there's an Indian of doing Friday or Shabbos even, twice the Pasuk and the Unklis. So there's different ways of doing it. Some people do until Sheni twice, and then they'll do the Targum Unklis, or if there's no Unklis, you could be able to with Rashi. So the Rishonim write, though, that if you're doing it, you should do it before the second meal on Shabbos, Shabbos day meal. Ideally, you should do it, the best time to do it, by the way, is Friday, after Chatzais. Some poskim say you should do it before midday, other poskim say you should do it after midday on Friday. That's the ideal time to do it. If not, you can do it Friday night. Poskim right, Kitzur Shechner also brings it down. It's the Rosh, I believe, that says you have to make sure to do it before the second Suda. If you didn't do it, by the way, you could do it until Tuesday, like Havdalah. And if you didn't do it, they say you could do it all the way until Simchas Torah. You can make up for the lost thing. Okay, now you're not allowed to fast on Shabbos. 1 second. You're not allowed to have any pain on Shabbos. Shabbos is supposed to be einig, pleasure. Now another din is like this. The Gemara says, the Gemara tells a story, in the days of David HaMelech, there was an epidemic. 100 people were dying a day. In the days of David HaMelech, 100 Jews were dying a day. And nobody knew why. So David HaMelech found out from Shemayim that if you make 100 brachas, if the Jews will say, each one will say 100 brachas per day, the epidemic will stop. So David HaMelech made a takana for the Jews that you have to make 100 brachas a day. And the epidemic stopped. And the Gemara quotes a lot of, the Poskim quote a lot of, it says, V'ata Yisrael, Ma Hashem Elokecha, Shoel Mimach, what does Hashem want? So the Gemara said, don't read it Ma, read it Meah. V'ata Yisrael, Meah Hashem Elokecha, Hashem is asking you to do 100 brachas. Then another pasuk says, Asher Gever Hukam Oil. Fortune is the one who establishes a yoke. Oil, Ayin Lamed is 100. So there's the concept of making 100 brachas a day. So during the week, there's no issue. You have in the brachas in the morning, close to 25 brachas just in the morning. Then you have a few in davening. Then you have 19 brachas of the Amidah that you say 3 times a day. That's 57. Plus the brachas you say, the brachas in the morning and throughout the day, you make 100 brachas easily. The problem is Shabbos, it's more difficult to make 100 brachas. Why? Because the Amidah, granted there's 4 Amidas, but each one has only 7 brachas. That's only 28 instead of 57. So in Shabbos you have 4 Shmona Esreis, Ma'ariv, Shachas, Mincha, Musaf, and Mincha, but it's only 7 each, so you only have 28. So it says, how do you make up for the 100 brachas in Shabbos? So it says a number of things. First of all, it says you should eat more stuff on Shabbos, eat fruits. So you have a bracha before, bracha after, eat types of delicacies to be able to make a bracha. Then it says in halacha also, how do you get the 100 brachas? So we know if you listen to a bracha and answer amen, it's like you said it. So you have Kriyas HaTorah is 8 aliyahs, including mafter, right? Each aliyah has 2 brachas, before and after, is 16. Then you have a few brachas of the Haftarah, which is another few brachas, plus you listen to Chazar Sashatz, Yantomim, whatever. And Shabbos, you get the 100 brachas also. But it says the person therefore should eat, smell things on Shabbos and eat things on Shabbos to make up the 100 brachas. After the meal, it says in halacha, you should sleep a little bit. In fact, one of the Rosh Tevis for Shabbos is Shina b'Shabbos Ta'anug. Shin Bet Tov stands for Shina b'Shabbos Ta'anug. They tell the story at Rosh Yeshiva. Once came in Yeshiva, the Bachmer, like they say in our language, Hakin Chainik, they were talking. So the Rosh Yeshiva said, why are you guys talking so much? So the Bach was a smart Bach. He said, because Shabbos stands for Sicha b'Shabbos Tainuk. So the Rosh Yeshiva said to him, Rosh Yeshiva was smarter. The Rosh Yeshiva said to him, he quoted, Shlomo Melech said, Leiv Chacham liyaminai. The heart of a Chacham is on the right. But what did Rosh Yeshiva tell him? Shina is with a shin. That's the dot's on the right side. Sich is on the left side. So he said, Lev Chacham liyamin. You have to say it Shina, not Sicha. Shina b'Shabbos tainu. By the way, the Gemara says, and it's brought down in halacha, by the way, that bekushi hitiru l'daber divrei Torah b'Shabbos. The Chachamim, with great difficulty, bekushi, with great difficulty, the Chachamim allowed a person to speak Torah on Shabbos. Meaning, it's very simple. Ideally, we should not be allowed to talk on Shabbos. Why? What Shabbos? Hashem created the world in 6 days and stopped creating on the 7th. How did Hashem create the world in 6 days? Vayomer, Vayomer, Vayomer. Hashem spoke. So what happens on Shabbos? Hashem stopped speaking. So ideally, if we want to celebrate Shabbos, then we shouldn't be allowed to talk, because that's during the week. Hashem spoke, and Shabbos he didn't speak. So Bekushi, it was great difficulty allowed to speak Divrei Torah Shabbos. But it says in halacha that what happens, this is a very practical thing, especially when it comes to kids with Pesach and Yom Tiv. It says on halacha, what happens if I need to stay up Saturday night late, going over a red eye? Okay? So I want to sleep Shabbos afternoon, but my real intention is because I need to stay up at night. That doesn't matter. Why? Because sleeping itself is tainuk. But you're not allowed to say, it says in Shulchan Aruch, you're not, it also brings it down, the Rebbe brings it down. Shulchan Aruch says, you're not allowed to say, I'm going to sleep because I'll stay up tonight. Because then you're preparing to sleep from Shabbos for the weekday. You're not allowed to do any preparation from Shabbos for the weekday. So if you're sleeping, you don't say anything. No, sleeping is enjoyment on Shabbos. You could sleep. What your mind is, that doesn't matter, as long as you don't say it. You shouldn't say, or like the kids, Pesach, you tell them, Yom Tov, you say, go to sleep, because then you'll be able to stay up for the second Seder. So really that you shouldn't say, because then you're preparing from one day Yom Tov to the next. But that's, okay. Now after that, after you sleep a little bit, then you're supposed to establish times to learn Torah. Shabbos is made to learn Torah. Because it says, Vayakol Moshe kol adas b'nei Yisrael vayem aleim, Parashat Vayakol. Moshe Rabbeinu gathered all the Jews, and he told them, this is the laws, Ela dvarim asher tziva Hashem, these are the words that Hashem commanded, and he told them the laws of Shabbos. So Moshe Rabbeinu, the Medrash says, Moshe Rabbeinu was makhil kihiles b'Shabbos. Moshe Rabbeinu would gather the communities to learn on Shabbos. Why? During the week, people are busy in business, it's no time. Shabbos, nobody's working. So ideally, Shabbos should be spent in learning Torah a little bit more than also. And he quotes in the Medrash, Hashem said to Moshe, Reid v'asei kilas gedelas b'Shabbos, that they should learn, the next generations, to gather people on Shabbos. And then he says, Chazal say, Shabbos is Yom Tov only given lasik b'hem b'Torah, because the whole week they're busy, and therefore Shabbos you have time to learn. Okay, that goes. But
am I allowed to not sleep on Shabbat so that I'm tired for the night?
Yeah.
Because I stay up, no, but it's okay.
In the Chassidic world, I can't say everybody keeps this. In the Chassidic world, Shabbos is too precious to sleep. They should learn Shabbos. Where you're sleeping on Shabbos, wasting time on Shabbos. You should, learn. And but the meaning is you still go to sleep, but you shouldn't spend the whole afternoon 10 hours sleeping. Okay. Next dinim are the dinim of Kriyas HaTorah, of Shabbos and the obligation. So, as a brief introduction to this, what's the source of Torah reading? What's the source of Torah reading? So you have, the Gemara says, after Kriyas Yam Suf, it says, Vayetzu shleishes yam b'midbar v'leimotzu mayim. They went 3 days in the midbar, there was no water, the Jews complained. Okay? So Hashem, the first time, Hashem told him, hit the rock, he hit the rock, and water came. So Chazal say, Moshe Rabbeinu they went 3 days without moyim, ein mayim alo Torah. The Jews went 3 days without Torah, so therefore they started complaining against Hashem. So Moshe Rabbeinu instituted Kriyas HaTorah, Shabbos morning, Monday and Thursday. Then you don't have 3 days without Kriyas HaTorah. Okay? Moshe Rabbeinu was the one that instituted Shabbos morning, Kriyas HaTorah, Monday and Thursday. Because then you get, there's no 3 days without Kriyas HaTorah. This that we read Torah Shabbos afternoon, Chazal, the Gemara says in Bava Kama, that Ezra was Masakin. Ezra Sefer, the beginning of the second Bais Din Mikdash, he made a takana to have another Torah reading Shabbos afternoon for the next Shabbos. Why? So the Gemara says, because Ezra saw there were people that worked the whole week. They couldn't come to shul during the week. So they didn't hear Kriyas HaTorah during the week. So he made Shabbos afternoon. People, are not working. They come to shul. So he instituted another Torah reading Shabbos afternoon.
Wouldn't that be doing something on Shabbos in preparation?
No, learning Torah. Okay. Learning Torah on Shabbos, I'll give you an example. This is very practical, by the way. Let's say yeshiva boys, yeah? Sunday they have a big Gemara test. Yeah, or Chumash test. Whatever, yeah? So now the question is, in halacha, are you allowed to study Gemara and Shabbos because you're really not studying there? You're studying because you're taking a test on Sunday. So is that, are you preparing from Shabbos to the weekday? So like we said, by sleep, that's for sure allowed. Why? Learning Torah is a mitzvah. Sleeping is enjoyment. Learning Torah is a mitzvah. I'm thinking of, but the bottom line is, I'm learning Torah. Learning Torah is a mitzvah. First, it would be a big shaila in halacha, not saying yes or no, because people wouldn't listen anyway. What happens if a person has a big math test on Sunday or Monday? English test, chemistry, whatever. They have a secular big test on Monday. Are they allowed to study on Shabbos for the test on Monday? The answer really is no, because then you're preparing from Shabbos for Monday. It's not a mitzvah to learn math on Shabbos. So then it would be a shaila. I'm not saying but let's leave it at that. It's a shaila in halacha if I would be able to learn on Shabbos for a math test. But Torah itself is a mitzvah, so therefore it's not a problem preparing. So that's not an issue. But it's not preparing anyway for the weekday. So the way the aliyahs was set up, it's later. The way the aliyahs was set up like this: the minimal amount of aliyahs is 3. Okay, as the days become holier, you add aliyahs. Meaning, Monday, Thursday, Shabbos, Mincha is 3 aliyahs. Okay, Rosh Chodesh, Chol HaMoed is 4 aliyahs. Yom Tiv is 5 aliyahs. Yom Kippur 6 aliyahs. Shabbos is 7 aliyahs. So even in that respect, Shabbos is even holier than Yom Kippur. So therefore, that's the amount of aliyahs that you have, starting from 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 to 7. What?
Can you please repeat one more time?
What? Monday and Thursday is 3. Rosh Chodesh Chol HaMoed is 4. Chag is 5. Yom Kippur is 6. Shabbat is 7. We'll learn tomorrow, Mitzvah Shem, but so where did Mafta come into the picture and that whole thing?